Hello, let's just do a very quick forecast for parts of Oceania and Asia there. So this is this will be very quick, just to show you what will happen. So in Australia, we currently have this cold front there in parts of South Australia, going to New South Wales and Queensland, and that other front in the west that will continue a little bit but will dissipate. But this cold front in southern Australia will continue to New South Wales and bring some more rain there to those areas later. And then this will turn into a front in the ocean there and might affect New Zealand later, but still uncertain. By next Sunday and Monday, might affect New Zealand, but it will affect Tasmania too, and this other front there. Wait, so we are on Saturday. That front dissipates, and then Monday, and then Tuesday we get another front in southern Australia there. Next Tuesday, then it continues through next Wednesday, progresses through to southern Australia, and affects Tasmania and New South Wales there, and some other areas. And then it joins with this one and might affect New Zealand there later. So the rain accumulation in the next 24 hours is mainly from this cold front here and the remnants of that other one. In the next 3 days, still from this one. In the next 5 days, we already have more from the other system there. In New Zealand, almost nothing the next 5 days, just in the south. And then the next 10 days, we will start getting it closer to New Zealand. So let's see, in the next 5 days, we might get some more tropical rains near the Solomon Islands there, especially in the ocean there, but there can be some heavy rain in parts of the islands, so be aware. In Papua New Guinea too, a lot, especially in those central areas. And let's see here, Vanuatu, some showers, New Caledonia, a little bit more in the south, Fiji, some more showers expected too, 3 days, 5 days, and then especially here in these areas further north, like Matautu and these other areas here. Wait, so let me see. I think this is Tonga here. No, Tonga is down here. So this is some other countries here might get some more rain. Shows around 129 millimeters possible, and throughout the island like 43 millimeters in the next 5 days. And further north in Tuvalu, we might get more rain too, like 97 and 80 something millimeters in the next 5 days. For these areas here too, wait, here we might get some more rain in this area, especially in Atufu here, about 100 millimeters. So right there shows like 99 millimeters, but it's a very small island. Let's see. Some more here in Kiribati, but not much in the Marshall Islands too. Let's see. Then in the next 5 days, a lot in parts of those eastern areas of Papua New Guinea. In French Polynesia, some showers, but not much, mainly to the east there. So next 3 days, next 5 days. So mainly in those eastern islands of French Polynesia, might get more rain. So let's see. In Indonesia too, some more tropical rains, and especially in India here. So in the next 5 days in western India, about more than 165, 180 millimeters in many areas because of the monsoon. So, but let's take a look at the north, because showing some very heavy rain in northern India too, around almost 400 millimeters in some areas there. In Nepal as well, around 300 and something, 200, 150. So very heavy rain. Parts of northeastern India, around 300 too. Bhutan too, around 200 and something millimeters. Northern Bangladesh, so parts northeastern India, some very heavy rain. So let's see here. Next 3 days, next 5 days, yes. So especially those areas in northern Myanmar here shows 200 millimeters the next 5 days, and even like 465 in those pink areas, 500 millimeters even in parts of southern China here, or northeastern India. I think it's both southern China and northeastern India here. So 500 millimeters in the next 5 days. It's showing, so be aware. Very heavy rains. And to compare, the GFS has for Western India there, but not as much as the Euro has. In central India, it shows a lot of rain too, but only around 50 and 80 and 100 millimeters. But there can be a lot of storms in central India here too. In northern India, in that same spot, it shows a lot, around 258 millimeters too. So be aware if you live in those areas there. And Nepal shows a little bit less, but still some. Let's see, Bangladesh shows a lot, and parts of northern Myanmar, but not nearly as much as the Euro. The Euro had like crazy amount there. So yeah, further south in Cambodia and Laos, we will get more rain. Less in parts of central Thailand, but in northern Thailand we might get more, and some southern areas here too. So in Malaysia here, we might get some areas with more too. And let's see, especially these other parts of Malaysia here. And let's see here. The Philippines is like generally fine, but more rain the next 5 days. So next 3 days a little bit in some areas, but 5 days it increases. So around 100 millimeters in some areas. Let's see. So be aware there. Let's see here. For Taiwan, some 40 millimeters the next 5 days in some areas. For China there, wait, southern China, I told you, a little bit in parts of western China, and Kyrgyzstan, some more rain the next 5 days. Around 16 millimeters, and maybe higher in some areas, 21 millimeters. Let's see, Kazakhstan and Russia here, especially this area of southern Russia there shows more than 100 millimeters. Parts of Kazakhstan too, some more. Let's see. And these areas of southeastern Russia here, it shows a lot in the next 5 days. So 147 millimeters in those areas there. So be aware in those areas of eastern Russia. Let's see. In the Koreas here too, it shows a lot in the next 5 days. Almost 252 millimeters. 187 North Korea. So be aware there because of the other systems. In Japan, some in southern Japan, but not much, but some areas could get heavier, especially central and western Japan here. So parts of central west Japan shows more than 100 millimeters in the next 5 days. Northern Japan too, some more the next 5 days, especially China here. Look at this. So it shows like almost 400 millimeters to parts of China there, but because of all these systems there. So very complicated situation. A lot of rain there in those areas of China. So further north here, northeastern China, shows like 200 millimeters, 205, 170. So a lot of rain. Let's see, Haiyang there, Jimo, let's see, 122, 125 in some areas. So stay safe there in China. And these parts of eastern China are mainly fine because all the rains in those areas. The GFS is kind of different, has the heavy rains there too, but not as much as the Europe, but it has some of those spots that have rains too. Through South Korea, has a lot in South Korea there, and Japan, kind of the similar areas there of central western Japan. So be aware, in Russia, Kazakhstan too, it has, and let's see, yeah. So be aware. Let's see some temperatures. So during the hottest time of the day there, might be around 43, 4 in Pakistan, high into the 30s in India, and Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan around 35, 38, 33. Let's see, in Iran there, more than 45 in some of these dark areas, so very hot. That's 47, even 48. So very hot. Be careful. In Oman, Saudi Arabia too, 47, 48. So be careful. Very hot in those other areas further north here. So be careful with this heat. Kind of hotter, warmer in Mongolia, and some areas of the basins there in the valleys. Parts of eastern China too. In Russia, a little bit warmer in some other areas. So let's see, Sunday, Monday, still hot in those areas. Shows even hotter for the east there. Later next week, kind of a similar thing. A little colder at night in Russia, but yeah, be aware. Let's see here. Maybe some wind gusts and stuff. Snow, mainly the Himalayas and some other areas. And let's see here. Yes, so precipitation, wind gusts. So we have the stronger winds in the Arabian Sea there. Let's see, sometimes in parts of Afghanistan, Kazakhstan, in some areas. And then in Japan and in China, as you get those systems through the Koreas, some very strong winds there too, like into next Thursday, Wednesday, and Friday, especially like next Tuesday in South Korea, through Japan there. And let's see. And occasionally in parts of China, around Wednesday and some other times. And in the south there, we get those stronger winds in parts of the ocean, near New Zealand and Australia, and even the islands. I get some very gusty winds around Fiji, Vanuatu, and those areas. Might get some large waves. And in parts of southwestern Australia by next Tuesday, the stronger winds, and then as the cyclone moves, maybe some stronger winds near New Zealand by next Friday and Saturday. But before that, in the ocean there, near Tasmania, southern Australia. And yeah, let's see here some temperatures. So wait, so let's see for southern Australia. So this is like in the middle of the night, in the coldest part of the night, I think, or something, around -1 there. Let's see. So 0 in Tasmania, very cold too. -1. It could get even colder in some areas. -1, 0. So be aware. I like chillier, 20 in Townsville. Let's see, all the way to 13 Celsius, parts of the Northern Territory. Western Australia, Chile too. And the maximum temperatures during the day might reach like 30 Celsius in parts of Northern Australia, even 33. And in the south, around 13, 9, 15 Celsius, the max. And in New Zealand, the maximum temperatures in the mountains might be still cold, around 4, some 10, and Auckland around 14 during the day. And then during the coldest part of the night, we still might get some very cold temperatures, like -8, especially in the mountains, -3, -1 there. In the coast, around 7, 4 degrees, 3 degrees, 2 degrees. But be careful in the mountains with that cold. Parts of the Northern Ireland, -1, 2, 0, -1. Let's see. The minimums around 12 in Auckland, 13, 10, yes. It's very cold, so be aware. The islands, the islands are doing fine with the temperatures there. Let's just see some waves, some kind of bigger waves sometimes because of the gusty winds, but yeah, nothing very big too. But let's see, this is like Tonga or some other areas. By Monday we might start getting some bigger waves in those islands there, even in Fiji. So look at this, by next Wednesday, some bigger waves there. French Polynesia there, we might get some bigger waves by next Friday and Saturday and Thursday, and we already have some now, and some larger there a little bit too. So this is it, I think. Stay safe, be aware of the heavy rains in India and Asia, and stay safe.